Hello and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Pattaya, Pattaya Channel's very own breakfast show. I'm your host, Nick Pendrell, and joining me once again is the lovely Carolyn.
Hello,
welcome
Nick.
back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. And also thanks to our guest for today, who's Tyronne from TPR Golf Academy.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having.
So tell us all about TPR Golf Academy.
Oh, well, I've been coming to Thailand just to try to play professionally.
Right.
So I've been here for 10 and a half years.
All right.
And after that I found out it's actually costing me more money than I actually earn on tour. So I felt like, well, got to change something. And from there, I came up with the idea of, I always like to teach.
Right.
Yeah.
Always like to be around people. So from there, it's been the story. I just thought, well, why don't we get a spot where we can actually teach golf properly in Pattaya?
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, there are driving ranges around.
Yeah.
And there's the regular pro somewhere, but there isn't really anything kind of like a little bit more sophisticated. With we have a bit of a lounge going. Everything's kind of like higher standards.
Yeah.
We have equipment going on for teaching and late technology as well, which isn't around in Pattaya. And I always was missing that when I was practicing here.
Right.
See, the driving ranges here, they're fine, but usually the mats are not that good. You can't really hit off grass. You can hit off grass with us as well, but we have very expensive mats, which kind of like give you the feel of hitting off grass, which is a good feedback for golfers when they're playing.
Right.
And so just put my head together and thought, well, what could we do? And so on. And now we're there on the Greenway driving range, up on the second floor.
Right.
Fantastic.
So tell us a bit about you. I imagine you're quite good at golf. I would imagine.
Well, not too bad.
I hope so.
Not too
You're
bad.
teaching other people.
It starts to get worse because I'm not really getting to play anymore. It's I've obviously turned professional about 7 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, and then I tried during those 2 years to actually come onto the Asian tour, which is based here in Asia, which didn't work out.
Oh, right.
So from there on out, I just felt like, okay, tried a little bit on the Singapore and on the Thai PGA Tour, which are the local tours, all Thailand tour. Played some tournaments there, had some okay finishes, but not that I felt like, this is it. Was a little bit of a mental thing with me, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I always was a good starter, played always pretty decent, on the starts, and then when I hit that one bad shot, it's like,
oh, really?
and then I started getting technical, and then it starts
Then it deteriorates.
and deteriorates from there. I mean, every golfer kind of can probably
relate to that.
And if it feels, I felt like that before.
Thinking about it too much, and it.
So from there, also on the mental side, it's been trying to play on tour. It's been a good teaching, and I can give that back to both of us. Also Andrew, which works with me, Andrew Scaife. He's the second pro at our academy. He also played on tour.
Yeah.
So we've got some expertise in that, and get some feedback for players who are trying to play their daily best golf,
Right.
And,
So where are you from originally?
Switzerland.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Not a big golf country.
I was going to say.
So that means that you can teach golf in a few languages?
Yes. I speak, German, Swiss German, which is similar to each other, just very different slang, kind of like Lao and Thai.
Yeah.
I speak fluent Thai. I speak English, of course. Then some French and very, very broken Spanish, but that's been a very, very long time ago. So I got to refresh my memory on that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long has the academy been going?
This is our 5th year just now.
5th year, that's quite a while then.
So it's quite a while. Yeah. It started basically from scratch, and we just went on, with flyers, running around on the golf courses, going into bars and kind of trying to, hey, this is us. Why don't you come and give us a try?
Yeah.
And up until today, we count around 250 students.
That's pretty impressive.
So not everybody just here. We got a lot of expats and travelers which go back and forth.
Yeah.
So we're doing. What
are the age ranges? Do you teach kids or?
We have quite a few kids by now. So probably around 12 to 13 kids, somewhere around there, and quite a few promising ones as well. Especially one kid is Nico. Salmi, he's half Thai and half Finnish.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's ranked number 1 or number 2 in Thailand now in his age group.
Wow.
And I think he won already 4 or 5 tournaments this year.
So how old is he now?
Brilliant.
He's 8.
He's 8?
8 years old. So it's with him, it's just trying to keep the enjoyment on the game. Obviously, when you start at that kind of age,
Yeah.
Because
So what is the earliest? if somebody had a kid and said, I want him or her these days, as women are golfers.
Thank you, Nick. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Equal opportunities. What sort of age would be the perfect age to start?
To start, well, it depends a little bit on the kid. You know, I mean, if he's really active and likes to run around, obviously, then you gotta wait a little bit. You know, but I would say around six or seven. That's quite a good age. That's also when I started. When I was.
Because they need to have a certain amount of concentration, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah. You know, the concentration level with us adults is close to half an hour. With kids, it's like 15 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
So we usually try to just teach them something in the very first 15 minutes so that they can kind of work on that.
Yes.
And the rest is basically just playing around and playing some games, also some fitness-related games when they're trying to get improve their stability, their balance. So like pushing games on one leg, things like that.
Right.
So keep it fun with them. You know, you can't sit there with a kid and trying to teach him for an hour and say, why don't you do it like that? Swing like this. So he's just gonna quit right on the first day. So.
But I imagine most of your clients are older, the expats.
Most of them, yes. I mean, our customer base usually goes from, I would say, like mid-20s up to pretty much no distance. The oldest one we had is 86.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but he just stopped. At the beginning of this year, he said, I'm getting too old for this. So it's,
And do you take do you take students of all, from people who never hold a golf club right up to somebody who what is the best student that you've ever had in terms of handicap?
Well, we have quite a few which are scratch. So that's like zero handicap. So pretty much where you actually can start to think about turning pro.
Yeah.
But we basically teach from all beginners who never touched the club up until professional players.
Right.
And do you find that people come into it with a specific objective in mind? Like, do
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Is it mainly for play or to just enjoy themselves, or are they actually trying to hit a particular target?
They usually come in and they have some problem. I mean, I said, look, I'm out there, I'm getting angry, I'm frustrated, and I'm hitting all these bad shots. Sort me out.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is, and then from there on out, we kind of develop a bit. We ask them questions, what kind of goals do you have? And, down from that, we can basically work out a little bit more of a training plan with the people.
Okay.
But with some, it's not that complicated. We look at their swing, see what's mainly going on. We don't want to change everything because that's going to throw you offline for a long time up until you can rebuild again. But basically, just look at the few biggest mistakes they're doing. We usually say there's 2 to 3 big mistakes most people do.
Okay.
It's not that much, it's not like it's like 20 things you got to change. So it's usually 2 to 3 things.
Yeah. And what are those 3 things generally that people struggle with?
I would say like 80 or nearly 90% of all amateur golfers, they do not understand that the golf ball is basically not their initial target.
Right.
Okay, their initial target is wherever that might be in the fairway, some tree, the pin, whatever you're trying to aim at.
Yeah.
And that gives a lot of people a lot of problem, because they think, okay, I've got the golf club in my hands, I got a golf ball there, there's a target somewhere, and now just hit at it, So and that usually doesn't work, So they either top it, they hit the ground, or it flies off, but then it curves off because they're actually not swinging down the target line. You see, so. We pay a lot of attention on that. People actually understand that the golf ball is just there.
Yeah.
And we actually want to focus on getting our club and our body moving through the ball and actually to the target, because that way it's kind of like you're throwing a ball, right?
Yeah.
So you're not focused on the moment you're letting that ball go out of your hand. You look and then you throw.
Yeah.
So in golf, it's kind of similar. There's a target. Obviously, there's a little bit more complicated, but you want to try to think, hey, I got to go there.
Right.
Not just down here and then see what happens. So that's mainly, I would say, the biggest problem people have.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. How long is let's say that you start off with a rank amateur who's just never played golf, never swung a club before, to where they could actually go out on a golf course and not make a complete fool of themselves?
That's also very individual.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had students that came in never touched a golf club, and 4 weeks later we could go to the golf course.
Yeah.
And he played pretty decent. I think
Yeah.
Some have just got sort of a natural ability.
You know, it's a little bit. I mean, obviously, people who played sports before, you know, have some athletic background. It usually kicks in a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, if you cut an average, usually it takes like 2 to 3 months.
Right, and that's how many lessons over the per week? Just one?
Well, usually we say like come by if you're starting up from scratch, like 2 to 3 times a week.
Right. Okay.
Right. So that way, you know, you could also come in less. But the problem is, you know, a lot of people, they buy packages and they say, okay, I'm going to play golf now. So they come for one lesson. And then they come for the next lesson next week, but in between, there's nothing happening.
They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Right, so they go to the golf course, they do play golf, and then they're trying to think of what I've taught them or what Andrew taught them during the 18 holes, which usually is a disaster.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have any thoughts when you're out on the golf course. You just want to play.
Yeah.
So that's why we say, look, you should try to come in and practice and try to get rid of those old habits and find that new stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't put it into practice, it's usually going to take even longer.
Yeah.
You know, so, but if you stick to that, usually like 2 to 3 months, if you're from scratch, you should be able to go out on the golf course without no problem.
All right. And what training equipment do you have? Do you have one of these sort of computer simulators where you whack against a big screen? Do you have one of those?
No, we don't have we have the luck that we're at the driving range, so people usually like to see their own ball fly.
Right.
Yes.
I think for bigger cities like, you know, like Singapore or New York, golf simulator is really cool.
Yes.
Because people don't get out that much.
Yeah.
But with us, with our beautiful weather here in Pattaya, you know, it's no problem.
Yeah.
But what we have a machine called Swing Bite 2, which is actually a very, very little Bluetooth device you attach just on any club at the bottom of your grip. It pairs via Bluetooth to your smartphone or iPad.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And from there, what it gives us 3-dimensional graphics of how the person swings.
Right.
So how is his backswing? Is he on plane? Is his club face closed? Is he coming over the top, swinging too much from the inside? Gives us data. With basically club head speed, you know, angle of attack, how is he coming into the ball?
Yeah.
And we can also do video with that. So we basically can compare your 3D data side to side with a video.
Okay.
Synced up.
Yeah.
So we basically can see, you know, which body movement causes that fault. So that's a device we're using quite much. And I'm also the Asian distributor for Swing by 2 here. So we got all Asia under control, except South Korea.
Okay.
So that's a good tool.
Probably not such a big market in North Korea either.
Well, North Korea, there's probably nothing.
No.
I did hear they've got a golf course there or something.
In North Korea? Well, I'm not quite sure in North Korea because, you know, everything is like nobody knows anything about North Korea, right? So South Korea though is a very big golfing nation.
That they're
very big
very
golfing
big
nation.
into golf. There.
Exactly.
What sort of nationalities are you teaching in the main?
Oh, I think that varies like right through
Across the
any
board.
country across the globe, pretty much. I mean, we go from Thai, obviously. Then we have English, American. We got Irish, Scottish, German, Italian, Spanish.
So very diverse.
Everybody.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And what's your sort of split in terms of male, female? Do you find you teach more women or more?
Well, I would say it's probably more male.
Okay.
Okay, but I would say the women are catching up.
Yeah. Good.
So, you know, good on them. It's like, you know, I think usually males are a little bit more into sports.
Yeah.
And I think they try to improve themselves more.
Okay.
Just down to their natural kind of ego, what we have, right?
Yeah.
So it's, women are a little bit more laid back, I would say. You know, that if they play well, okay, they play well. If they play bad, okay, play bad.
Yeah.
With the men, usually it
They want to win.
grinds them a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know. So but they're definitely catching up. I mean, we have students which are juniors, which are a lot of girls at the moment,
Yeah.
and obviously from the Pattaya Ladies Club,
Yeah.
and also some of Pattaya's female clubs. They're coming to take lessons with us.
That's great. That's
Brilliant.
So we're getting short on time. So where can people find out more information about your academy?
Well, basically, best thing is probably go to our website, which is www.tprgolfacademy.com. All one word.
Right.
You can find us on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel there, which you just open up. There's just one video there. Maybe
Get started.
it's going to get more. And Yeah, probably the website is the best. We got the Facebook account as well.
Yeah.
So plenty of ways there.
Plenty of ways to find us.
So any of our viewers who are looking to improve their golf, then check out the website and find out all about it. Thank you very much for coming to join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Stay tuned for part 2.